And then continuing with corporate conversations, Yatharth Hospitals saw a strong year-on-year revenue growth, the 20% growth there. Margins also expanded on a year-on-year basis. However, the net profit was impacted due to higher depreciation and finance cost. Yatharth Tyagi, the whole-time director at Yatharth Hospitals and Trauma Care Services, is now joining in to discuss the road ahead for the company. Yatharth, good morning. Thank you for joining in. So, firstly, your average revenue per operating bed went up this quarter. Your occupancy also went up this quarter. What would you attribute that to? And what are your ARPOB targets for FY26, if you have set any?
Hi, so it's been a good financial year for us, especially the way quarter four has panned out. The company has, shown upwards of 30% YOY growth, both in terms of the quarter as well as the financial year 25. I think this is primarily due to three aspects. One is the growth in our North extension as well as the Jhansi Orcha hospital. Both these hospitals have shown upwards of 25 to 30% growth, which has led to the increase in the ARPOB as well as occupancy in these specific hospitals, contributing to the overall performance of the company. As well as if you look at the EBITDA margins, we have been close to 25% at the yearly basis, and this is as per our expectations. Talking about the ARPOB growth has happened, around 8% year-on-year basis. And again, this is what the company has also shown in the past for 2-3 years. We still feel that there's a huge scope in terms of ARPOB going forward, as to three major reasons. One is the increase and changes in the case mix. So as most super specialty treatments are now increasing in a pie. So for example, oncology has increased. Now oncology is almost contributing close to 20%. So these are high price specialties. Due to growth in these specialties, ARPOB is increasing, and we do feel in the years going forward we should see a similar trend in the ARPOB growth that we have seen for the full financial year.
Yatharth, hi, Reema here. Just a few questions then. You've been largely maintaining a 30% kind of a revenue growth. Will that sustain even in FY26?
See, we are also adding capacity this year. So 2 of our new hospitals are going to start from literally next month. So their revenue should start flowing at the beginning of Q2. So we are starting a hospital in New Delhi in an area called Model Town. So 300-bedded hospital starting there, as well as our second hospital in Faridabad, which is going to be a 400-bedded hospital, is also going to start. So with 700-bed capacity, being added up for the whole financial year, we do expect a good momentum in our overall revenue growth, and we do expect the trend that we have seen for the last 2-3 years in our year-on-year percentage growth in the revenue should be sustainable for the next few years to come.
Okay, revenue growth sustainable, and that's been about 30% on an average for the last many years. And now that you have, 2 hospitals coming on stream in the next 1 month, will the margins come under pressure? Will you initially face any sort of increase in operational costs, which could hurt margin, or can you hold on to 25% margins for the full year?
So if you look at our margins for the quarter 4, we are close to 24.5%. And I think the margins in Q4 would be a right assessment for the quarters going forward, because yes, we do have 2 hospitals starting, but the another hospital that we started a year ago in the city of Greater Faridabad. So that hospital has almost EBITDA break even in the latest month. So the losses of that hospital will now stop, and that will start adding to the EBITDA. So overall, and even in our existing mature hospital, there's still occupancy ramp up yet to be seen. Both North Extension, Great Noida, we do expect occupancy increase further. So that should be covering up for the losses for the new hospital. So overall, we do feel the EBITDA margins that we have seen in quarter 4 should be the right momentum going forward, would be something similar for the whole year forward as well.
Yatharth, just before we get back to business, there were reports late last year, earlier this year, about the income tax department involved with the company, and you had also issued a clarification that there has been no new updates on that earlier this year. What's the status of that currently? If you could share an update on that.
So, as far as the income tax case is concerned, there's a huge positive development that happened for the company in the latest quarter. So one of our subsidiaries, AKS Medica, which comprises of the North Extension Hospital business, and it contributes nearly to 40% to the overall group. So the audit for that is almost complete now, largely complete, and the demand there for the tax that the company would be paying is minuscule. It's in the tune of only around 1.5 crores. So we are quite confident now with the subsidy, and our other subsidies contribute very less. So it's mainly the AKS Medica that was contributing 40% of the overall revenue. So the audit for that is largely settled now. So going forward also, we do expect for the parent company the settlement to be not impactful for the whole company. And we have always maintained that we do not see any large financial impact coming in, from the case going forward as well.
You also mentioned that there was some attachments, provisional attachments, and the use of around 6 crores from the pledged amount. Has that issue being resolved, and do you see this entire issue getting resolved in the first half of this year, Yatharth?
We feel that before the end of this, calendar year, we should get this issue should largely be settled, and that is the timeline what any income tax matter takes. So when the case started, we always maintained that before 2 years it should be settled, and we are pretty much on the timeline. So we feel that once that's settled, any attachment will also be removed. Just to remind you, these attachments are anyways provisional attachments, right? So now because the demand for the AKS Medica is there, so once we do that tax deposition, that provisional attachment will also be removed from the subsidies, as well as going forward, as I mentioned, that before the end of this calendar year, we do expect largely for the whole case to be settled very soon.
Got that. Just one word answer, if you could. Do you think you spoke about how ARPOB is seeing a positive momentum, will continue to increase? 8 to 10% should be the annual growth one should estimate for an increase in the average revenue per occupied bed?
I think we can take that figure conservatively to be there for the next few years.
Okay.
Because,
right.
Yes, international patients are also going to increase in our hospital. So Greater Noida is coming up with Asia's largest international airport. So we are the closest hospital to the airport. So with that going forward, ARPOB expectancy should increase much higher.
Okay, we'll leave the conversation here, Yatharth. So some of the key takeaways are revenue growth momentum should continue. It's been 30%. Q4 margins around 25% should sustain. The 2 new hospitals, which add 700 beds, should come on stream in the next 1 year, in the next 1 month. The company conservatively can add about 8 to 10% to its average revenue per occupied bed on an annual basis for the next 2 to 3 years. And the tax matter process is on, but should get fully resolved in this calendar year itself. But that's Yatharth Hospital for you. Moving on, we're excited to unveil our brand new global business news channel, the all-new CNBC TV18 Prime, bringing you insights from policymakers, business leaders, economists, shaping both the world and India's future. CNBC TV18 Prime decodes global shifts and their impact on Indian businesses, giving you unparalleled insights. Tune in to CNBC TV18 Prime at 12 noon every day for the Global Reset, and then again at 8:30 p.m. for Global Lens.